They say, sovereign citizens are engaged in paper terrorism. No, that's you. They like to take property without warrants. They like to do administrative procedure without the proper process and procedure and due process. You know, they like to take complaints as claims with nobody on the other side and then administrate property or take property that doesn't belong to them because everyone's been coerced to register the property as part of the state. So they claim the state of has an interest in that property because it's registered to the state of. Right. They try to work within the boundaries or completely ignore the boundaries of what proper process and procedure is. I even caught them many times trying to charge more than what they were allowed to by code. Their law, not our law, but the code is law for them. It's supposed to keep them in line. And so, this is just kind of where we're at, where even if you look at the code and follow the code, they're not following it. It will say they cannot charge more than, let's say, $10 a day for storage of that car. And they'll try to hit you with 30, 40, 50. So you call them out on it and say, hey, state code says you can't charge more than 10, and then they adjust the bill. So they're just doing whatever they want to do. They're in RICO. This is racketeering because you have multiple corporations getting together to do paper terrorism by definition, because they're attempting to try to force everyone into their political science corporate endeavor, right? Man and woman does not have to register their property and title it something other than what it is by original condition. We know that this is federally defined, the difference between an automobile and a motor vehicle. The average slave is never going to go read it. If they do go read it, they're always going to deny the existence of it, even though it's right there. So this is the purpose of the title when an automobile is sold, is that before you ever get into it and ride it off the lot, they take it to the back and they send it over to the DMV and they generate a registration and a new title for that automobile as a motor vehicle, which is defined as a commercial instrument. So it's called unlawful conveyance, among other things, right? It's essentially fraud. They're without giving full notice of what's going on, unlawfully converting property and people from one status, standing, condition, and state of interest and equity to another status, standing, condition, state of beingness and equity or lack thereof, right? So, and don't kid yourself, this whole thing is going that way. That's the point of digital currency. I believe, I can't prove it. Bitcoin, blockchain, a digitized reality, and a tokenization of everybody's beingness. They already did it. They already did it last time they took the gold and silver away. They brought in public safety code, statute, policy, and code, overlaid an AI reality of governance over the natural reality. And they've essentially, by convincing everyone to interact with this artificial intelligence we call governance, moved everyone away from their supernatural beingness. So now we're so far down the line that a natural man and woman is born into a reality, an artificial reality, where they just believe that corporations are their daddy and mommy, that policy and code is their law, that they don't have any right to property or to own their own home or their own land without paying tribute to use it in the form of tax. This is absolutely, I would say, absurd and unheard of if it wasn't the one theme that we've experienced in history from the beginning of time, right? It is the one thing from the beginning of time that we experience in history is from land to land, these groups get together, they're inhabited by a spiritual force that seeks to take us away from who and what we are naturally and insert us into an artificial reality. And I got news for you. They're not stopping at statute, policy, and code, state of, and the idea of corporate governance. They're going all the way with it, if you haven't noticed. So the next leg up of this is beyond slavery. We're going to the genocide portion, if you haven't noticed. And that's okay, because I'm not here fear-mongering. Fear doesn't do anyone any good anyway. Ultimately, if I am talking about what the reality seems to be, and it is that, well, then it's there to compel us to become more faithful, to have faith in our own conscience that God put there, to have faith that there's an order above and beyond what we see day to day, more and more in this world, and a faith that we will be delivered from that if we attempt to do what's true and what's right and stay in alignment. I don't know anything else at this point.